Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Foster with Erica. I've decided to share my foster journey here on YouTube, hopefully inspire others, learn from others, and just share what's going on in my life, and hopefully it makes a difference in someone's life out there. So if you are interested in fostering, want to learn more about it, or simply just love animals and want to see my journey, stick around. So I started my fostering journey in 2025. I previously owned a dog named Lola, a little Jack Russell that I rescued. In January of 2025, she was diagnosed with a liver tumor, and she passed a week later. It was devastating, and it really affected me in a lot of ways. And about a week after she passed, I also lost my job. So long story short, 2025 was a year of learning a lot about myself, what's important to me. I did end up finding another job about 6 to 8 weeks after that, but it is a job with a much better work-life balance. And so I really had to dig in and take some time to learn about myself and learn about things that I was passionate about outside of my career. About 6 to 8 weeks after Lola passed, I did adopt my current resident dog, Rosie. I went to the shelter and I looked at a couple dogs and we just chose each other. You know, I think grief is different for everybody. Everybody has their own timeline, and she really helped heal something in me that broke when Lola passed. So during that time, a few months later after I got Rosie, I, was reevaluating my life and the things that were important to me, and I decided to get my first foster dog. I've always loved animals, and I've always been interested in fostering, rescuing, that kind of thing. My dream has always been to have like an older senior dog sanctuary. I've said that for a very long time. I never could get as many pets as I wanted because I always rented, but I did buy my house in 2024. So since then, I have been able to kind of do what I want. So I decided to start my fostering journey. I went back to the shelter where I got Rosie. They told me that they had a dog named Kendra who was about 10 years old. She was getting a very large mass removed from her chest, and she needed a home to heal in instead of recovering from surgery in a shelter. So a few days went by, I went and picked her up directly from surgery. She had about a 13-inch incision from her neck going down her chest. I will insert some photos here. I will also do a separate video just on Kendra to dive more into that. A few weeks after her surgery, the biopsy did come back as a high-grade mast cell tumor, which is cancer and very likely to return. So at that point, we had still decided to try and get her adopted, but we had also accepted the fact that this would most likely be a hospice foster, as a dog that's 10 years old and dying of cancer is a hard one for someone to adopt. So I had Kendra for about 6 months, and in January of 2026, almost exactly a year to the day after Lola passed, Kendra passed. And that was really hard for me. Losing another dog within a year's time was really tough, and a lot of people were confused as to how I could do that, why I would do that. And although it was very tough, it was so rewarding, and I was so glad to give her the best last 6 months of her life. And that is where I really decided that this is my calling. I'm going to continue fostering, rescuing, and helping as many animals as I can. Now, I did take quite a long break after Kendra, about 6-7 months. I decided to take a break because I needed time to grieve. I also had a cat that had some medical issues that were very expensive and time consuming. She has now passed as well, unfortunately. And I also had a lot going on in my personal life. So about a month ago, I decided that I wanted to start fostering again. I now have 2 senior foster dogs as well as my resident dog. I also have 2 cats that are mine and a ball python. So right now my house is very, very full, and so is my heart. And I've really decided that this is what I want to do. I decided to start some social media pages to kind of document my journey. I also want to educate people on what the fostering journey looks like. I hope to get more people involved in fostering, hopefully to inspire someone to foster. You know, a lot of people say that they could never foster because they would fall in love with all of the animals. And of course, I do fall in love with all of the animals. But the more animals that I can help, the better. So if I adopt every animal that I foster, then that really limits me on how many animals I can help. And now I've decided to start a YouTube channel to also document my journey, kind of archive everything, as well as, you know, get to know like-minded people. I hope to inspire some people to begin fostering. I know there's also still, I'm very early on in my foster journey. I'm now only at 3 dogs that I've fostered so far. And I know I have a lot to learn along the way. So if you are interested in fostering, you want to learn more about fostering, or you just love animals and want to see some of my crazy, chaotic day-to-day life, please follow along. If you could like my videos, subscribe. I watch a ton of YouTube videos, but I have never recorded a YouTube video. I do not have a fancy camera. I do not have a fancy setup. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just winging it and hoping that people want to watch along on my journey. I'm going to keep it very real, very raw, the good, bad, and the ugly. So if that sounds like something you're interested or you want to learn more about fostering, please follow along. Like this video, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media platforms for real-time daily updates on what's going on in my life and my dogs' lives. And if you want to, please leave a comment on any questions you may have, anything you would like to know, any particular videos you would like to see. I can always use help with some ideas. So that's it for me today. Welcome to Foster with Erica. Welcome to the shit show. I hope you all stick around and learn to love fostering as much as I do.